Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this channel. Thank you very much for joining me at this time in this tutorial. So in this tutorial, we are going to develop again a very amazing game, the name of which is Flappy Bird. I know you have played this game many times in your life, but how to develop this using Python, that's what is pretty exciting, right? So that's what we are going to do today in this lecture. The platform which I am making use of right now is Sublime Text, on which I will be defining all the Python code with the help of which we can develop a full-fledged, this what we call it, Flappy Bird game, right? Now, the first thing we need to do is we need to import the modules. So these are the two. Just give me a short moment. I'm facing some issue over here right now. Yeah, perfectly fine. So the first thing we need to do is we need to import these two modules. The first one is Pygame, and the second one is that we'll be using today's sys. Sys is for system, right? Now the second thing that we need to do is we need to initiate this Pygame module, and how to do that? We can use this pygame.init function, right? After this thing, we need to create a window on which we can get everything reflected, right? How can we get a window for our game? So for that, we can use something like screen. Okay, that's the variable you will find in all the Pygame games. Okay, the games which are developed in Pygame, you'll find this variable over there, and this is basically used for storing the screen on which the user want to see the game. Okay, so if you want, you can use some other variable also. It is totally your call. But just because of your understanding, I have used the same variable which the other professionals use generally while creating games using Pygame. So now let's make use of this Pygame module, and here you will find this load function with the help of which you can load a background for your image, for your game window. But instead of using this load function, we'll first try to create that window on which our game will be appearing. So for that, we can use this display function, and there is this function named set mode you can use for setting the dimensions of the screen on which you want to see your game. So I would like to set it equal to this 1024, because generally, Flappy Bird screen is something like a mobile screen. So that's the dimensions, I think, which will help us in getting a mobile kind of screen. Let me just run this code and show you the window which this code is going to create for us. So let's check it out. So that's the window, and as you can see, it automatically went away. We didn't I didn't pressed any button. It automatically went away. Why? It's because the interpreter executed these lines of code, and after that it didn't find any event. So that's the reason the window appeared for some seconds, and it then got closed automatically. Now if you want the window to get closed only if some event occurred. Suppose the window should get closed if the user presses the cross button, which is right on the top of the window. So if you want something like that, you can make use of this while loop. You can define this while loop. So while this condition is true, so we can then make use of this for loop, and here we can use this function named get, right? So that's the function which will return to us all the events which will take place at the time when the game will be in running mode, right? So suppose the user presses the cross button, which is this cross button. I'm talking about this cross button. So if he presses that cross button, I would like to get a notification of that. And how we'll do it? We can use this event.type, and at any point of time, if it will become equal to quit, right? If the user will press that cross button, so automatically what will happen? This event will take place, and if when this event will take place, then Pygame should get closed automatically. So that's the function which is going to help us in doing the same. And besides that, I would like to exit from the system also, right? Okay, let's now check it out whether it is going to help us in getting the window for a longer time in front of us or not. Okay, it is showing us some error. Now, what is this error? If event.type equal to int object is not callable. Okay, so why is it showing us this error? We have to check that. Okay, it's not a function, it's a simple property. That's the mistake I made while defining that quit over here. Let me now check. Okay, so now we are able to see this window, and let me close it so we are able to close it also, right? Okay, so we are done with creating a window on which now we will be putting everything, whatever we want to see in our game. So the first thing which I would like to do is, I would like to control the frame rate per second. How to do that? We can make use of the function named clock, which we can easily find in the Pygame module. So pygame.time.clock, so that's the one with the help of which you can control the speed of the game. You know what I want is, uh, I want to get everything updated. I want my game, or you can say the computer, to update for me everything regularly while the game is in running mode, and it should happen automatically. Now, if I want something like that to happen, what I can do, I can make use of this pygame dot display dot update function. So that's the function which is going to update everything, whatever has been defined, in between this while loop and this statement. This statement will update everything for every frame that will get created. Fine. Now, in order to define a speed, the speed with which you would like to get the frames changed. So you can make use of this clock dot tick function, and here you can put the speed. So I would like the frames to get changed with this speed. If you want, you can pass 30, 60, whatever value you want to, you can put it over here. It is, if you'll reduce it to 30, suppose, so automatically the speed of the game will increase. Right now, if I will run the game, you will not be able to see any kind of changes over here because we don't have anything right now on this window. Okay, now how to get something reflected on this window? So we can make use of surfaces. On this display window which I just showed you, we can put different surfaces, and on those surfaces we can define different kind of objects. Let me show it to you with the help of an example. So this is the function which is helping us in controlling the speed of the game. Now let's do one thing. Let's come down, and if you want me to load a good background, okay, so let me first show you the folder in which I have all my images saved. So I've already downloaded these images which I will be using for this Flappy Bird game, and this is the first part which I'm shooting today. The remaining three parts we are going to shoot it afterwards. Okay, so that's the one which I will be making use of for now. It is with name background dash day, and its size is 288 by 512, as you can see. If you want, I can show you the properties window also, where you will find all the properties of this image like this. So it is of this size 8, it's of 8 KB, and its complete name is background dash day dot png, right? Okay, now if you want me to bring it on the display window, how will I do that? That's the question. So what we can do, we can create a surface, and after that we can put the image on that surface, and then we can call that surface on the display window in order to get the image reflected on the window. So bg surface, that's the variable I would like to load my background image in. So pygame dot image dot load function we can use for loading our background image. Let's copy the name of the image from here. So I'm copying it from here. The complete name is background dash day dot png. Okay, and now if I run this uh, code over here, I will not be able to see anything getting reflected on this display window. Why? Because I haven't called this image yet on my display window. So I'm done with loading this image on this variable. Now the next thing that I have to do is I have to create a surface, and I have to call that surface on the display window so as to see this image on my display window. And how to do that? So we can come down over here, and let's come out of this for loop, and here we can have this function screen.blit. So blit is used for block transfer, right? That's the function which helps us in bringing everything on the display window. Now we have saved our image in this variable bg underscore surface, right? And then we'll have to define the coordinates also at which we would like to see our image getting reflected. So if I'll pass these coordinates 100 comma 200, let's see where will we get the image on our display window. Okay, so we are getting it over here in the middle, right? In the center we are able to see the image. Now I want my image to cover the entire black screen. Fine, because half of my screen is display is in black, and the image is covering only half of the display window. I don't want to see that kind of view. I want to see my image covering the entire display screen. In order to do that, we can make use of transform function so as to increase the dimensions of our image. So we can simply use this bg underscore surface again, and let's call pygame dot transform function, and here we can use this scale 2x, and simply we can pass this bg underscore surface over here as a parameter to the scale 2x function. Right, so now what this function will do, it will scale up the size of this surface for us, this scale up the size of this image for us. And now if I will run this code, so that's what I am getting right now. It's not looking nice, right? I'm not able to see the complete image. Let me change it to 0 comma 0 and see what's gonna happen now. Okay, so that's the beautiful background I was talking about, and it is looking extremely amazing. Right, let me just close this window. Okay, so I am done with getting the background on my this display window. If I'll change the size to 600, then automatically this window will get affected, and that's what you will get to see over here, right? And let me do one thing. Let me just change it back to 1024. Great. Okay, now it's time for us to get the floor of that Flappy Bird game in the bottom of the display window. Now, how to do that? We are going to make use of same concept. The first thing that we'll be using is this code, which will help us in loading the image in a particular variable. So the variable I will be using for this floors image is floor underscore surface, and let me just show you the image which I will be using as a floor. So that's the one, right? And what is its complete name? So it is with name base.png, right? So how to call it here? We can simply replace it with base.png, and in order to make it compatible with my game, I can make use of this convert function. So it is going to convert this image in such a form which will not put lot of load on my computer, or you can say it will change it to change it to in a form which is going to be compatible with the game's configuration. Okay, so it is that's what we can use this convert function for, and that's how we can define it after this load function. Right. Okay, it's time for us to come down and let's use this transform function for changing the dimensions of this floor. So we can again use the same concept. I'm putting it over here. Right, so this is going to change the dimensions of the floor, and it will scale it up to twice its original size, right? Because here we have used scale 2x. Okay, now how to get this floor on our game window? So for getting this floor on our game window, we'll use the same concept again that we used for getting the surface on our display window. So we'll use this split function, right? And here we have to just change this bg to floor. See, game development with Python is very simple. You just need to know the right thing. You just need to know the right concepts, right? Okay, and besides this, what else can we do? So we need to define a specific position also for this floor. Let me first run this game and see where the floor is, where we are going to see the floor. So we are able to see the floor getting reflected right on the top, but I don't want to see it here. I would like to see it somewhere in the bottom. So let me do one thing. Let me just, okay, here we need to replace it with floor. Sorry, I forgot to do that. That's the reason why we were not able to see the background. So the background is visible to us and this floor is also visible to us right now. Let me close this window. Let's define a variable over here with the help of which we can control the what we call it, position of the floor. So we are going to have something like this, floor x and underscore position, and let's assign it this value 0. Okay, now I would like to come down here and floor surface comma 0. This is fine. So in place of this 0 comma 0, we can pass something else. Let's do one thing. Let's pass this floor underscore x comma position. Have I initialized it with something or not? Yes, I have initialized it with 0. And here I would like to pass 980, because the dimensions of a window are 1024. Let me check where I will see my floor now. Okay, so why are we not able to see it? Just a second. I think I'll have to change the resolution of my system. That's the reason why we are not able to see that window. If I'll change it to 900, okay, still that floor is not visible to us. Maybe it is somewhere down, in the bottom. So that's the reason we are not able to see it, but it is there. It is there. How shall we bring it up? Let me change it to 500. Okay, now if I will run this game, so we are able to see this floor over here. I think it is better. No problem. Let's keep it here. and let me shift it to 600. Now if I will run my game, so I'm able to see the floor over here. Okay, so now it is looking perfectly fine, right? Let me close the window. Okay, so we are able to see the floor also. We are able to see the background surface also. It's time for us to define a code with the help of which we can make the floor move in the backward direction, because in Flappy Bird what happens, the floor is the one which moves and it seems as if the bird is moving in the forward direction. So that's the trick in this game. Now how to make the floor move in the backward direction? So as I've told you, this while over here is creating some frames which are changing regularly, and that those frames we are not able to see. That change we are not able to see because the change is happening at a very fast pace. So here, this is the variable which is actually responsible for positioning the floor on the display along the x-axis. So what we can do, we can change the value of this variable for every frame that this while loop is creating. So that's the concept which I will be using here. So what I am doing, I am making use of this simple formula, plus is equal to 1. Now with every frame change, the value of this variable will get incremented by 1. And if I will now run this game, so that's what you will get to see. So you can see the floor is moving in the forward direction right now. It's looking really amazing, isn't it? Okay, let me close this window. Now, if I want to see the floor moving in the backward direction, I'll have to change it to minus. And if you want to see it moving really fast, we can change it to 300. Let's run this game. Okay, it's moving slowly right now. Let's do one thing. If I'll change it to, I think 30, it will run fast. We'll be able to see it running fast. It is still slow. Maybe there is some issue with the this Windows or the operating system I'm using, but it is, we are able to see it moving, right? And it is looking perfectly fine. Let me close this window. If I'll change it to 6, let's see what is going to happen. So I think we'll be able to see it moving pretty faster. Yeah. So yes, we are able to see it moving pretty faster, and it is looking great. Right. Now, after certain amount of time, the floor is getting completely disappeared from this display. I don't want that to happen. I want to see the floor. I want the user to always see the floor on this window. I don't want the user, at any point of time, this floor should go invisible or should go disappear from the screen. I don't want that to happen. So how can we prevent it from getting disappearing, or how can we bring it back? What we can do, we can make use of if control statement. That is absolutely right. That's what I generally use for controlling these kind of things. So floor underscore x position. So the moment the value of this floor underscore x position will become smaller than or equal to minus, let's say 576. So what should happen? The floor x position should become again equal to 0. Let's see whether this is going to help us in getting the required result or not. So we are able to see this floor moving, and it is completely gone, and it reappeared, right? It reappeared, but still, this animation is not looking good. I don't want to see this gap which is visible to us right now. So what we can do, let's change this value to how about 400? I think that will do. No, it is still the same. If I'll change it to 200, then what will happen? Okay, now it is better. It is much better. Let me change it to 100. I think that will give us the right output. Okay, now it is looking perfectly fine. Fine. So, that's how you can bring your things on your display window, and that's how you can get this floor moving. That's how you can get this animation. So this is it from my side in this lecture. If you guys have any queries, please let me know about the same. You can share your queries with me in the comment section. Let me let me check my comment box. If I have anything to answer, definitely I would answer that query of yours. And in case you have any new ideas in your mind, or you want to avail the coding classes facility which I am providing to my students right now, in which I am teaching this game development things and things related to artificial intelligence, and things related to what we call it things related to mobile app development. So you're most welcome to join my classes, right? Okay, so Tarun Pandey, thank you very much, dear, for joining me at this time in this tutorial, Code with KSD. May I have your name, please, dear, so that I can shout out your name? By the way, thank you very much for checking out this video at this time. It means a lot to me, and please do not forget to like and share this video in your groups so as to make it reach to the maximum students possible, because in the next few days we are going to design this whole Flappy Bird game. And also this today we shooted the first part of this game. In tomorrow we are going to shoot the second part, and there are going to be four parts which I will be shooting for this game. So I would like all of you to be there with me in the tutorial so that you can also learn to code these amazing things with me. Right, in case you have any queries, in case you have any questions, you're most welcome to ask me those questions. You can put those questions in the comment box. Definitely, I am going to respond to all your queries. So, any questions, any queries, anything you would like to ask from me, please do let me know about the same. I am on my channel right now, and I am checking the chat. Okay, so I don't think that you guys have any queries related to what I have taught you today. In case while developing this Flappy Bird game you come across any issue, please do let me know at the very same time. Just by putting your query in the comment section, you can do it very easily. You can let me know about your queries, right? And definitely whenever I will get the time, I will respond to your queries. Or what I will do, I'll take the note of your queries, I'll make a note of it, and I will reply to your queries with suitable answer in the next class, right in the beginning. I hope that will do. So this is it from my side. Hope you guys enjoyed this lecture a lot. Thank you very much for being there with me in this tutorial. Have a great day ahead. God bless you all, and have a great